Good morning. I'd like to welcome y'all to Hope Unitarian Church. It's wonderful to see everyone today. I'm the Reverend Justin McCreary, and I'm excited that you're here with us this morning. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I always like to say is that we are covenantal, we're not creedal. And we can sum this up in a simple phrase attributed to David Farring, that you need not think alike to love alike. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Being rooted in love, we believe that all human beings should be treated with dignity and respect. On this hill, we seek hope, love, justice together in community. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and whatever your life circumstances, you are welcome here. At this time, I would invite you to rise and embody your spirit as you feel called to sing our opening gathering hymn. It is our tradition at Hope Unitarian Church to light a chalice at the morning of each Sunday morning, and we say these words as we light the chalice.
Sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
You may be seated. As I said in the beginning, we are covenantal, we're not creedal, and we start every morning or every Sunday morning with the covenant that we share together, and at this time, let's share that covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. And at this time, I have an invocation for this morning, and that invocation is by Chad Snyder. And it says, "We truly know far less than we think we do. But let us know this much. We are not alone. In our joy, in our loss, in our quiet, daily, blessed, ordinary moments, we are not alone. A small truth, maybe, in the vast of this rapid world, but let us hold that truth and trust it. As we hold that trust, the joys, the sorrows, the moments shared in this space that we make holy." And at this time, I would invite you to rise again in body or spirit and sing hymn number 1008, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place."
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts turns within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Dossett, and I'm going to do our announcements today. So you can read the announcements every week if you get the email or the weekly newsletter, Hope Highlights. And if you don't get it, you can email hopeuu at hopeuu.org. We have the Feed the Homeless coming up on March 15th. I think the sign-up sheet is out there on the cookie table or the table next to the cookie table. If you haven't done that before, it's a great experience. I highly suggest that you try to do it sometime. It's just all those spots are filled, so That's great. Then don't forget you signed up. Game night is back on this month. It's going to be the 20th, the third Thursday, and setup starts at 6. The activities start at 6:30. If you have any questions about that, talk to Mr. James. Gardens and Grounds, I have had scheduled a spring cleanup and planting day on April 5th. I don't know why I thought April 5th was a good day. It's going to be a little bit too early. We may get some frost before then. So I'm going to officially move that to the 19th, which would be a better day to plant some flowers. Everybody in here, I expect to come see plant some flowers. And if we all do it, we can do it in about 20 minutes. Everybody plant one and we're done. And if not, then, well, we'll figure it out. I hear tell that somewhere soon, maybe this Friday, there's a charade party at my house. And if you've signed up for the charade party, I think we're going to start at 6:30 and finish around 9:30. So I think come join us for food, drink, and lots of fun. Bring lots and lots of wine, so it'll be lots and lots of fun. Today after the service, stick around. We're going to have the chili cook-off. Lots of great chili out there. I've already won, so everybody else is playing for second place, just so we're clear. No. But no, chili cook-off is really fun. It's a great time of community and fellowship. Lots of laughs and lots of good chili. So stick around after that to have some good chili. And then last, I'd like to invite Vanessa up here real quick. If you didn't come to Adult Forum today, that's okay. We're going to give our quick 2-minute spiel. But today starts the annual pledge drive for our church. The pledge drive is what we do every year so we can raise funds for the church, fund the church, and this kind of helps us write our budget, so know how much money we have to work with each year. And so there's going to be lots of little things going on between now and the end of the pledge drive, which is April the 6th. I really encourage everybody to spread the word to your fellow church members that we love our church. We love all the things that we do for our community, both in the church and out in the community of Tulsa. And it's only possible because everybody in this church is so giving. And we want to continue that. So I'll let you say.
Yeah, and just to bounce off of Jeff, so a couple of things to note. This year we have created some visual charts. Jeff thankfully got printed on nice big posters, so when you go out into the fellowship hall during the chili cook-off, if you want to know a little bit more about our income this past year, expenses this past year, those charts are out there available for you to look at. In addition, we have a new giving guide. This is just a tool for you to use to look at and see some suggestions regarding your pledge this year. And at the table, as you exit the fellowship today, there's some extra pledge cards. There's a place for you to drop your pledge in, brochures, the letter. So everything you need is here today and will be for the next few weeks. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask Jeff or I.
Thank y'all.
Because I just wanted to say, this is the first time since I've been here that I've seen that the people leading the pledge drive have been here less than 3 years. And I just want to give these two, let's give them a hand for taking on this.
All the
by Reverend Scott Taylor, Trust Must Be Rekindled. We gather today to hear the call of trust. Though our hearts have been bruised by broken promises and dreams deferred, may we listen again for that longing to repair and be repaired. The hunger to start anew, like the flame, trust is something that needs rekindled again and again. May today spark the fire of a new match.
The Fish of Reality by Alan Watts. The fish of reality is more like water. It always slips through the net, and in water, you know when you get into it, there is nothing to hang on to. All this universe is like water. It is fluid, it is transient, it is changing. And when you are thrown into water after being accustomed to dry land, you're not used to the idea of swimming. You try to stand on the water, you try to catch a hold of it, and as a result, you drown. The only way to survive in the water, and this refers particularly to waters of modern philosophical confusion, where God is dead, metaphysical propositions are meaningless, and there's really nothing to hang on to because we're all just falling apart. And the only thing you do under those circumstances is to learn how to swim. And to swim, you relax, you let go. You give yourself to the water, and you have to know how to breathe the right way. And then you find that the water holds you up. Indeed, in a certain way, you become the water.
Deep within us, Speed along to ports so far, be the best of who we are, and hope will light our way. For hope will light our way, our journey's beginning each new day. We will set our course on a shining star, speed along to ports so far, be the best of who we are, and hope will light, hope will light, hope will
Wonderful song. I haven't said lately how much I appreciate the choir, and you all bring such wonderful, wonderful joy and hope to this congregation. Thank you so much, choir. This poem is by Julia Fehrenbacher. This is what silence said to me today. Trust what you can't see. Move forward despite the wobbly groundlessness of I don't know. Breathe, love, create, show up as you are every day, no matter what. Go to where the wild irises grow. Say thank you for all of it. Weeds, cracks, sunbeams, that hand on your shoulder, in the forever throb of ache. It's all a doorway, a hand leading you back to grace. This poem reminds us of a few things. First, silence speaks to us. Simon and Garfunkel also remind us of this, and they remind us that silence has a sound. I've been in conversation where silence spoke more to me than 1,000 words. Sometimes I've even had to admit that silence was deafening. Just because it doesn't make a sound doesn't mean it isn't speaking. It can be hard to listen to silence during the difficult times, during the chaotic times, when so many lives are being affected by the socio-political sphere. Many of us are outraged at the words of the president of our country. For many of us, it feels like we're losing everything that we are. Our families have worked hard, that our families have worked hard for. From unfounded statements about the transgender to the betrayal of our allies, sometimes I want to scream, and maybe I should, I don't know. As a faith that highlights love through pluralism, justice, and equity, as a group that wants to include different voices, especially those voices in the margins, as a faith that calls us to action, we can want to scream. We want action. We want to talk about it. We want to post about it, rave about it. And who's to say that's wrong? Lest we forget that silence speaks so well. And maybe silence is reminding us not to pay back hate for hate. The poem goes on to say, trust what you can't see. Move forward despite the wobbly groundlessness of I don't know. Any good hiker knows to be careful of wobbly groundlessness. Many years ago, I was backpacking through Mississippi, and there was a small creek in front. It was a few days into the trip, so my legs were hurting. It was jumpable, but my legs were hurting. I didn't want to jump to solid ground, so I saw a mound in the middle of that small creek and decided I would set my foot there. And just as I put my weight down, my foot sank in the mud, and to balance myself so I wouldn't fall, I had to bring my other foot into the middle of the creek. Suffice it to say, I ended that day with wet socks. Because we want to want to tread on solid ground, yet this poem encourages us move forward despite the wobbly groundlessness of I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't want to do that. I want to step forward on solid ground, but even solid ground's a little iffy right now. But the encouragement of the poem tells us how to move forward into uncertain, non-solid ground. It says, breathe, love, create, show up as you are every day, no matter what. Okay, I think I can do this. Breathe. Then I'll read the news. So I read the news and then I breathe. On the mornings I don't want to get out of bed, I sit up before taking my first steps and I breathe. I can reach out my hand to the people I love. I can make something new. I can be present. And it reminds us to show up as you are every day, no matter what. Okay, I can try. And the poem continues to give us direction. It says, go to where wild irises grow. Say thank you for all of it. Thank you? Say thank you. Of course, it just means for the wild irises, right? Did I say wild roses? It's where the wild irises grow. It's just for them, right? That's all we're saying thank you for, right? Well, no, it continues on. Go to where the wild irises grow. Say thank you for all of it. Weeds, cracks, sunbeams that hand on your shoulder, that forever throb of ache. Fine. Fine. I'll give thanks for the weeds and the cracks. Reminds me of a passage in the Hebrew Bible that says the rain falls on the just and the unjust. Maybe this is what she was thinking when she tells us to say thank you for the weeds and the cracks. Because it feels like there are a lot of weeds and cracks. And as she puts them next to sunbeams and the hand on my shoulder, that forever throb of ache, I suspect she's being both literal and figurative here. Maybe the ache after a long day that reminds us that we've worked hard, or the ache of a body having grown distant from our lover, or the ache of a loss knowing that we gave our whole self to another, knowing that to give fully the heart, we will surely someday know the ache of loss. Fehrenbacher ends the poem saying, it's all a doorway, a hand leading you back to grace. So let's just take a minute here in review. Silence is telling her to move forward today despite the lack of stability, to take in all the nature, all the self, to experience everything, the good, the bad. And why? It's all a doorway, a hand leading you back to grace. I don't know how to comment on that last stanza because right now I don't feel grace. Of course, she is articulating grace as if it's a place to go, and maybe it is, even now. But what's a UU to do? We're guided in all relationships by our values. With love at the center, we honor interdependence. And interdependence is not very popular right now. The idea that we're all individual but are still connected through one giant web, the old adage from John Donne that no one is an island. I quote John Donne a lot. I was corrected once on my first sermon that I preached here by Janet when I pronounced John Donne. So since that point, I've made sure to pronounce that correctly. But this new isolationist push is not interdependent. Interdependence doesn't just center on the individual or the collective. It remembers that the actions of the individual affect the whole. In the love of others, and to love others, we have to act in a way that doesn't cause harm. Centered in love, we celebrate diversity through pluralism. UUs are non-creedal. We can't form a statement of beliefs in deities like other faiths do. If we did, we would never finish. Hey, go ahead and laugh. You're not the one who has to lead the conversation. There aren't words for any creed, any statement of belief that is truly Unitarian Universalist, because it's always changing. And we're called to covenant in right relationship, which is not creedal. And in love, we seek, even if imperfectly, justice. And we do that through building diverse multicultural communities where everyone truly, no matter where they started from, can thrive. We're rooted in these values that flow from love, and it feels like what we're being fed is divisive and hateful. For many of us, this feels like shaky ground, but Fehrenbacher tells us to move forward. Of course, maybe she isn't talking about now. But the end of her poem gives me always vibes. But then maybe I have the wrong illusion here. Maybe we don't think of this as ground at all. Alan Watts said this in our reading. All this universe is like water. It is fluid, it is transient, it is changing. And when you're thrown into water after being accustomed to dry land, you're not used to the idea of swimming. As a minister, I look for analogies to better understand the world that I live in and our reactions to it. Alan Watts goes on to say, you try to stand in water, you try to catch hold of it, and as a result, you drown. The only way to survive in the water is to learn how to swim. And to swim, you relax, you let go, you give yourself to the water, and you have to know how to breathe in the right way. And then you find the water hold you up. Indeed, in a certain way, you become the water. And sometimes I think maybe the ground has failed us. Carl Jung believed if you dreamed about water, you were working through something. Well, maybe water gives us a better opportunity for understanding, because we as a people, as UUs, as Americans, as humans, we are working through something. And it's not going to be quick. And it's not going to be comfortable. So what do we do? How do we help be the change we want to see in the world? Now, bear with me, this may sound a little selfish. But even in our interdependence, we have to start with ourselves. We check our head. We learn to swim in the chaos of the seas, because if we cannot find some peace in ourselves, our responses will never come off as love. They will always come off like hate and continue to sow division. And there's enough of that already. We're in a community. And step one in swimming in this new ocean is to be in community, to not be alone. Our faith is about how we are together and cannot be simplified into a statement of faith or creed. We must look out into the world and see people as people, not as prophets, not something to be won over or something to be bought and sold. If all we look for is profit, then all we receive in each other is loss. Because behind every number on a computer screen is a person who deals daily with joys and sorrows, some of which would make us go pale. Behind every number, there is a person who struggles not just to pay bills, but to get out of bed in the morning. Behind every number, there is a person who has fought against prejudice, who lives and is tired of fighting. Behind every number, there is a mother who just wants to see her kids struggle less than she does. Behind every number, there's a child who just wants a future. Behind every number, there's a man who doesn't feel like a man, at least not the way culture tells us to. And behind every number, there's someone who just wants to use the bathroom and be seen in the way that they want, that they see themselves. On this shaky ground, we must see these people behind the numbers. We must build community with one another. We must give ourselves the opportunity to feel the joys and sorrows with which we are met on a daily basis. We are here because of human beings. We're here because as human beings, we are great and terrible at building communities. We're here in this situation because our communities always tend to be us versus them, not an interdependent web of all existence. So what do we do when we're on shaky ground? We hold on to each other and invite others into the pool with us. Thank you. One of the best things that many people have said they love about this congregation is that every Sunday we give part of our basket away to a generosity recipient. This money that you put in for the generosity recipient, which this month is an organization that works with domestic violence, Divis. They work on all sides of domestic violence, trying to heal the problems in homes, in the problems that face our society. And if you would like to donate directly to Divis, you can write a check and write generosity on the memo line. If you would use cash, that goes directly to the generosity recipient. If you would like at this time to pay your pledge, you just need to leave the memo line blank on your check or put your cash in the envelopes provided in the baskets. We ask at this time that you give generously as we build a new future. Jacob has done a wonderful thing for us and given us this. He's set up this television in the back, which was also a gift, so that when you're standing at the pulpit, you can see, and that the choir can see the words and everything else. But I started doing this coming out here to say, let's give thanks, because I didn't have the words in front of me. But then I realized that I'm part of the group of people here that wants to give thanks, so I still continue to come out and say, let's give thanks. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. We are ever bound in community. Our final hymn will be hymn number 146, Soon the Day Will Arrive. And I would invite you at this time to rise in body or spirit as you feel so called and sing this song with us today. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fires of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So as we go out today, I encourage you, go out and invite the people into the pool with us so we can swim together.
Give us Amen.